Judaism, a philosophically oriented philosophy. Jewish tradition expresses many insights into the character of humans through an intuitive understanding of the art of living. Judaism has created a philosophically healthy philosophy of life. There is a similarity between the goals of psychotherapy and Judaism. Achievement of a high level of integration in relationship to the self, to others, and to the world is paramount in both disciplines. Specific examples of psychologically healthiness of Judaism include its attributes toward God, sexuality, the family, group consciousness, and catharsis. In one sense, there is similarity between the goals of psychotherapy and Judaism. They both attempt to border the individual's perspective to a point where the person moves from a preoccupation with the self and its problems to greater personal freedom and broad empathy with the needs of others. In short, one's achievement of a high level of integration in relationship to the self, to others, and to the world is paramount in both disciplines. To understand how this goal of human integration is achieved with the framework of Judaism, one must examine its basic concepts of fundamental principles. The family. Psychiatry places great emphasis upon the integration of the family and its influences upon human personality. If there has been any one basic reason for the survival of the Jewish people, it has been its emphasis upon a stable family life. For the Jewish family, the home is the nursery of its value system. Synagogue activities are basically secondary to family observances. Judaism has consistently emphasized the importance of developing a sense of mutuality and togetherness between parents and with children. It is in this regard that the Talmud states, Sotah 70a, a husband and wife, when they are made one by common nobility, bear God's impress in them. The husband and wife are bound to each other by special duties. The marriage state, according to Jewish teachings, is an ideal state. It has been divinely instituted for the happiness of the individual and the well-being of human society. Conjugal obligation is invested with the most sacred character. Nowhere in the Bible is the dignity of marriage more strictly set forth than in the beautiful account of creation of woman in the second chapter of Genesis. It is not good that a man should be alone, and woman is created to be his complement. She is told in scriptural phrase to be his helpmate, and yet his equal. The superiority of either man or woman is not inherent within Jewish life. Each has distinct place to fill in marriage, and each has something to offer to the common stock of happiness. Jewish tradition in the Bible and the Talmud seems to express much of what would be mounted by a present-day marriage counselor. In the Jewish family, a woman cannot more truly realize the ideal of wifely duty than when she seeks to be husband's conscience, holding out to him a lofty pattern of conduct, to which, for her sake as well as for his own, he strives to conform. The rabbis of the Talmud were not unmindful of this lovely conception of woman's duty. In the Tractate Berachot 78, the sages say, when a woman leads her children to the classroom and saves her husband for transgression, she thus fulfills her mission. That man's life, they add in Shabbat 25b, is indeed enriched who is wedded to a virtuous woman. For with the wife rests the power to make her husband noble or ignoble. But if a wife must be energetic in all good suggestions, the husband must show himself considerable to her. The importance of the fatherly role in the development of the child is emphasized by Eric H. Erickson in his Childhood and Society. He takes cognizance of the child's needs for the patriarchal relationship by suggesting that it is often sought in the psychiatric process through attachment to the psychoanalysis. In Judaism, the patriarch occupies a position of dignity and respect. His vital influence in shaping the children's personality and in preparing the child for the task of developing his or her own individuality. As a result of healthy identification, is illustrated frequently in the Bible and other traditional Jewish sources. Parents are bound to their children by sacred obligation. With them rests the safeguarding not only of their children's happiness, but of their moral destinies as well. The role of the parents as teachers of morality, the ambient of the spiritual values appears in the book of Proverbs, in such well-known verses as 22:6. Train a child in the way he should go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And in 23:15-16, my son, if thy heart be wise, my heart will be glad, even mine. Yea, my reins will rejoice when thy lips speak right things. The parents offer a value system with which the children can identify, and since example is mightier than precept, the parents must present those values by their own behavior patterns. Jewish parents, by tradition, are bound to everything that will promote the physically and emotional welfare of their children. And the Jewish family has been structured to lay a philosophically healthy foundation of the personality development of the child. Group consciousness. Psychiatry emphasizes the need of the individual for healthy group identification. Erich Fromm stresses this in his book Psychoanalysis and Religion. It is the feeling of isolation, of being shut down, which is the painful sting of every neurosis. even the most irrational orientation of it is shared by a considerable body of men, gives the individual the feeling of oneness with others, a certain amount of security and stability with the neurotic person task. We are told by Renan that a nation is a spiritual principle constituted essentially upon two things. One is the possession in common of a rich legacy of memories. The other is an actual concept, the desire to live together, the will to continue to make the best use of the invisible heritage received. Judaism has always stressed these two principles: tradition, a rich legacy of memories of the past, and the desire to live together to make use of this legacy by symbol and ceremony. Judaism has always presented a great source of shared experience, especially that of an historic past with which a Jew identifies. In this way, the Jew of today feels united to the Judaism of the past and with the Judaism which is to be. The Jew feels linked to all the ages. The poets, the philosophers, and the saints of yesterday and tomorrow, Abraham and Moses, Rabbi Akiva and Hillel, Maimonides and Nachmanides, all are united in one revelation. This sense of belonging to a specific way of life has been a great source of emotional strength and stability for the adherents of Judaism. However, Judaism does not only offer a sense of belonging to the community of Israel. It also widens its horizon and gives a greater essence of meaning to social consciousness by strengthening the universality of humankind and the importance of being a part of the greater world community. In Judaism, the milestones of human existence, from birth to death, are expressed in ritualistic behavior. The Jew takes the event of birth and invests it with a spiritual character. The Brit Milah, circumcision, represents the symbolic act of the child becoming a part of covenant of Jewish life. The Bar or Bat Mitzvah is the ceremonial process during which the child enters in adulthood, and whether in he or she assumes the obligation of a responsible member of society. In death, rituals are invoked not only to give reverence to the deceased, but specific techniques have been established to aid the individual in working through the depression following loss of a loved object. Jewish tradition prescribes a series of ceremonies to be performed by the buried that regulate behavior during the period of bereavement. This process allows one to openly express grief. The philosophically soundness of the rituals prescribed by Jewish tradition for the mourner has been empirically validated. Catharsis and a reaction. Catharsis, one from a psychiatric viewpoint, is one of the most valuable means of the relief of emotional stress. The overt expression of pent-up emotion and feelings with a group setting is exemplified in the holy days and the festivals of Judaism. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are days during which the collective expression of sin and guilt is explored and worshippers openly expresses their inadequacies and sins. These days are periods of introspection and spiritual enlightenment. The Festival of Tabernacles, celebrating the harvest season, is made up of days of thanksgiving and regocijing, the collective expression of gratitude. Pentecost is also a festival expressing joy in the acceptance of the law and emphasizing the significance of education. Passover, with its feasting and joy, is expressive of the Jewish passion for freedom and equality. Hanukkah and Purim, unlike the other festivals, enable the Jewish people to express their aggressive impulses in terms of identifying with the aggressor and emotionally uniting their warriors of the past. Work through tough their feelings of anger and hatred towards those who would deny them from their freedom and through and relation expression. Joshua Lieberman, in his Peace of Mind, sums up this theme by stating, in prayers, in songs, in dances, in the home festivals and synagogue rites, the Jews acted out in unison their own inner needs and passion, finding collective health and enormous powers of resilience by byproducts of these wise emotionally strengthly. The Jewish people use their holy days as a form of group catharsis. There is no confessional for the individual in Judaism. However, there is a definitive awareness of the emotional need of the human being for a confidant to whom one might express thoughts and feelings. In Psalm 32:6, God is seen in this role as a non-directive therapist, so to speak. Happy is the man whom the Lord contents not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guilt. When I kept silence, my bones wore away through my groin all the day long. For day and night thy hand has heavily upon me. Acknowledge my sin unto thee, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. The Hasidim, Jewish groups that emerged in the 18th century, perspective their tzaddikim, righteous leaders, as therapists. Sima Bunim said, it is highly necessary for every human being to have the latest one sincere friend, one true companion, so close to us that we are able to tell him of which we are ashamed. Judaism, a philosophically oriented philosophy. E. Honing Journal of Psychology and Judaism. Springer, 1999. Volume 15, number 1.